Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate it. I am Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. Continuing with our celebration of Black History Month by shedding some light on films about black stories all throughout the month of February. Right now, I want to get into a neo-noir suspense mystery thriller from 1995 from director Carl Franklin, starring one of the all-time greats, Denzel Washington, a great film called Devil in a Blue Dress. This is one of those films that doesn't get nearly talked about enough. A very highly underrated drama thriller film, great mystery story where you have Denzel playing the character of Ezekiel Easy Rollins. This story takes place in 1948 where you have this World War II veteran played by Denzel Washington in a great performance where he's just a normal guy who loses his job at the beginning of the film. You have a little narration from Denzel through a local bartender and old acquaintance of Denzel's character Easy, a private investigator by the name of DeWitt, played by the late great character actor Tom Sizemore, learns that Easy has just lost his job and offers him work locating a supposedly runaway woman. But anyone that has seen a detective movie might realize very quickly that the whole offer is made up under false pretenses. In desperate need to pay the bills and to keep paying the mortgage on his house, all the while being self-aware of the potential risks that are involved with this kind of work, after being offered cash up front under the table, Easy accepts the job after being pointed in a certain direction, after being given a lead to a watering hole where this woman might just be, and so he checks this place out, asks some questions. Everyone's having a good time, drinking, dancing, cutting loose. Easy spots some guy that he knows who's there with his wife, Coretta, who Easy questions and realizes that this woman might just know something, and so he kind of sticks around a little bit and goes home with them after they all kind of drink together and hang out and party together a little bit. Easy's buddy drinks himself to sleep, leaving his wife Coretta and Easy all alone in that house, giving them the opportunity to get a bit too flirty with each other. Coretta seduces Easy, and then the next day, two cops pick up Easy under suspicion of a crime. That's when Easy finds out that Coretta has been murdered. It doesn't take very long for Denzel's character and us as the audience to realize that this guy is in way over his head. And one of the great things that I love about this film is, unlike a lot of movies with Denzel where he plays these larger than life characters that always seem to be in charge or very take charge guys, or guys that you just know are going to come out all right and on top, in this film you do worry for the character of Easy Rollins because he's just a normal guy who has to deal with these cops that are beating him over the head at one point, and he looks really scared in one scene where he's in an interrogation room, and these really dirty, mean ass cops are just hitting him on the head really hard, and you can see the fear in his eyes. There is also a scene where Easy is at the Santa Monica Pier and there's a white woman standing there who he has a very little innocent chat with, and some white guys come over and try to intimidate and bully him. And unlike a lot of movies where you'd expect Denzel to just talk some shit and whip their ass, no, it's like a real reaction that would happen back then in the late 40s between a black guy and some white guys that just come up out of nowhere. You can tell he is afraid for his life in that moment, and I really love Denzel's acting throughout this film. There are some times throughout the film after Easy's character takes a lot of crap from certain people that he does realize, all right, now I gotta man up, I gotta be tough, but it takes quite a bit to get there, and I really love that when you do see him in those moments where the character is scared, you do see him vulnerable. Another person that Denzel's character Easy has crossed paths with during his investigation turns up dead, so now he's connected to two deaths, and now he has the cops breathing down his neck. He has DeWitt, the PI, Tom Sizemore's character, just threatening him to finish the case, find this girl, and whatever information that he's looking for. And so Denzel's character Easy turns to an old buddy, played by the great Don Cheadle, as the character of Mouse. Mouse's character may not be the biggest guy, but he is dangerous and ruthless. You do not want to turn your back on this guy, especially if you're getting drunk with him, as one scene clearly illustrates. And Don Cheadle is great playing this gangster friend of Easy who is very loyal as a friend, but still the kind of guy that is kind of a live wire. Very much reminds me of somebody like Tommy DeSimone, Joe Pesci's character in Goodfellas. With this film being a detective mystery type of story, Of course, there is more than meets the eye when it comes to the plot, as the character of Easy has to navigate his way through LA through a web of lies and deceit, getting caught up in a bit of a scandal. And I really love the 1940s setting when it comes to the clothes, the cars, and the music. Everything feels very authentic. Something else that I love and appreciate and find very refreshing about this film, considering it came out from 1995, a time when hood movies were at their peak and Hollywood was churning out all these stories about black on black violence and hood violence and all that. In this movie, you get to see a time in the 1940s where you have our main character in a neighborhood where everybody seemed to be getting along, and you see little kids outside playing, and people walking their dogs, and a little girl with a lemonade stand. And our main character is a hardworking man who owns his house, and it's a positive depiction of a black community, which I don't think Hollywood did enough, especially back in the 1980s and 1990s. It just seemed like Hollywood was consistently painting this really negative portrait and putting African Americans in a very negative light on film. And it's always nice when you get to see a movie that doesn't do that. This film works on many levels as a period film, as a suspense drama thriller, as a detective story, as a neo-noir film. And once again, you have another great Denzel Washington performance. This guy has had 10 Academy Award nominations in his lifetime so far, and won 2, and who knows, maybe he'll get another one based on his track record. And I think he honestly deserved a nomination for this movie because I think he was that good in it. But considering it's Denzel Washington we're talking about here, I'm sure it comes as no surprise for you guys to hear that if you already didn't know that stuff. But anyway, excellent film, very underrated, 4 stars, 1995's Devil in the Blue Dress. Check this out. I do have a copy of this because it is a fave of mine. As you can see, you got Denzel right there, Easy Rollins on the cover, wearing the wife beater and the suspenders, with the brim hat, looking all stylish and cool. I believe this is the original poster, the original cover, which is pretty cool to have one of these old DVDs with the old cover. And it's an old copy, but still works great, so why upgrade? Very good film, and if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I always appreciate it. If you're into the classics, if you're into movies, if you're into this kind of thing, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications for more reviews coming out from me very soon. If you are a returning viewer, I thank you for your support, for your views. It's much appreciated. Please don't forget to comment, share, like. It always helps. And I'll see you guys on the next classic movie review. Until next time, take care of each other. Have a good Black History Month. Good February. Peace out. God bless.